The terrifying truth behind Stockton Rush's infamous Titan submarine _OceanGate documentary. On June 18, 2023, tragedy unfolded in the depths of the North Atlantic Ocean. The OceanGate submarine, known as the Titan, embarked on a historic voyage to the iconic wreck of the Titanic. However, what was meant to be an adventurous expedition turned into a devastating catastrophe. A sinister and ominous event took place, with all 5 passengers on board perishing in a devastating, catastrophic implosion. Please boop the like and subscribe button to help support the video. As the world watched in shock, new details of the incident slowly emerged. Among the passengers was Stockton Rush, the CEO and founder of OceanGate Expeditions, the company that operated the submersible. Stockton Rush was an American businessman and engineer, best known for his role as the co-founder and CEO of OceanGate. He dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of the deep sea and was a visionary explorer. With his passion for exploration, Rush led numerous submarine expeditions and made significant contributions to deep-sea exploration. On March 31, 1962, Rush was born in San Francisco, California, and grew up in a wealthy family. At a young age, he developed an interest in aviation and water sports, and he dreamed of becoming an astronaut and being the first person to travel to Mars. His passions led him to start deep-sea diving at age 12, and at 18, he succeeded in obtaining his commercial pilot's license. After graduating from Princeton University, Rush started his career with McDonnell Douglas as a test pilot for the F-15 program. As an adventurer, Harding set numerous records and achieved remarkable feats. He visited the South Pole multiple times, descended to the Challenger Deep of the Mariana Trench, and even traveled to space. In July 2019, he served as the crew pilot for the record-breaking flight mission called One More Orbit. Harding held 3 Guinness World Records for his remarkable accomplishments. His presence aboard the Titan created a sense of excitement and anticipation for what was to come. They were accompanied by Shahzada Dawood, a prominent Pakistani businessman, and his son Sulaiman Dawood. Shahzada was a British-Pakistani businessman who was born on February 12, 1975 in Rawalpindi, Pakistan. All occupants were on board. The expedition was scheduled to depart from St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. On June 17, 2023, Hamish proudly announced on Facebook that he had joined OceanGate Expeditions, which set out to find the Titanic. I am proud to finally announce that I joined OceanGate Expeditions for their RMS Titanic mission as a mission specialist on the sub going down to the Titanic. According to the U.S. Coast Guard, the descent of the Titanic wreck began with a 4-hour delay. Instead of the original plan to start around 4 a.m., they started at 8 a.m. For 2 hours, they descended to a depth of nearly 4,000 meters to reach the Titanic's wreck. About 1 hour and 45 minutes after beginning its descent at 9:45 a.m., the submarine and surface ship lost communication with each other. The U.S. Coast Guard had expected the Titan to resurface around 3 p.m., but this did not happen as planned. At 5:40 p.m., the Coast Guard received a report of a trailing 21-foot submarine from the Canadian research vessel Polar Prince with 5 people on board. They were also on their way to view the wreck of the Titanic. On Monday, June 19, 2023, U.S. and Canadian ships and aircraft searched the area, some deploying sonar buoys capable of measuring to a depth of 3,962 meters. According to U.S. Coast Guard Vice Admiral John Mauger, the area was remote and challenging to conduct a search operation. Officials had also asked commercial vessels for help. In addition, it was reported that if the submarine was intact, it was estimated to have between 70 and 96 hours of oxygen. So this is an incredibly complex site there. You have to remember that it's the wreck site of the Titanic. So there is a lot of metal and different objects that are in the water around this site. That's why it's so important that we've engaged experts from the Navy that understand the science behind noise and can classify or give us better information about what the source of that noise may be. In the meantime, it's something as a target, it's a focus for us to look at, John said. On Tuesday, June 20, 2023 at 10 a.m. In addition, the ROVs could be equipped with various sensors and instruments to collect specific data, such as temperature, pressure, chemical composition, and so on. The collected data were then forwarded to naval experts for further analysis and evaluation. These experts studied the data closely to gain a deeper understanding of the situation and determine the next steps in the search and rescue operation. That's just one piece of data, but that's not the only thing that's important. Sometimes you're in a position where you have to make a tough decision, but we're not there yet. If we continue to search, potentially we could be at that point. That's a discussion that we will have with the families long before I'm going to discuss that in public. However, the exact time will depend on the intactness of the vessel and other factors, such as the availability of power in the icy depths. Around 8 a.m., 2 remotely operated vehicles were deployed as part of the search operation. Experts indicated that it was still uncertain whether the submarine was on the surface or on the seafloor. They warned that weeks of intensive searching could be needed to determine its exact location. At 11 a.m., the Canadian naval vessel arrived at the site with a medical team specializing in diving medicine on board. Exactly at 11:48 a.m., the U.S. Coast Guard reported the discovery of a debris field in the search area by a remotely operated vehicle in the vicinity of the Titanic's wreckage. OceanGate, the company in charge of the expedition, confirmed that all 5 passengers aboard the missing Titan submarine had tragically perished in a catastrophic implosion. The U.S. Coast Guard confirmed also the fatal accident of the passengers and said the debris found in the submarine was consistent with the loss of the pressure chamber. We at the OceanGate Foundation are devastated by the tragic news about our friends and colleagues. We are keeping them and their loved ones in our thoughts and in our hearts. We wish to acknowledge the efforts of all the individuals and organizations involved in the valiant search for Titan and its crew and appreciate the expressions of sympathy from people around the world for this terrible loss, a spokesperson said. Prior to the incident with the missing Titan submarine, OceanGate had passengers sign a waiver describing the risks of the expedition. The waiver emphasized the experimental nature of the submarine and the use of materials not commonly used in other submarines. It highlighted the possibility of death as one of the risks. In a letter to OceanGate in 2018, they warned that this approach could potentially lead to catastrophic problems with the Titanic mission. The U.S. Navy reservist, Dan Miles, was independently hired as a consultant to evaluate OceanGate's Titan submersible in 2021. In his report, Miles compared the risk of taking a dive in the submersible to that of a test pilot, putting a new aircraft through its paces. This tragic incident serves as a stark reminder of the inherent risks associated with deep-sea exploration. It underscores the significance of prioritizing safety measures and implementing robust protocols to ensure the well-being of individuals involved in such endeavors. Deep-sea exploration ventures should always strive to maintain the highest standards of safety to mitigate risks effectively and protect the lives of those participating in these challenging expeditions. According to the latest updates, the remains found, along with other evidence from the submarine, have been recovered and will be analyzed by U.S. medical professionals to better understand the factors that led to the catastrophic implosion. The investigation into the sinking of the Titan submarine is ongoing and is being led by the U.S. Coast Guard and a Naval Board of Investigation. The Board of Investigation is currently gathering evidence, interviewing witnesses, and preparing for an anticipated public hearing for additional testimony. The goal is to gain a full understanding of the circumstances surrounding the implosion and to prevent similar tragedies in the future. If you would like to be featured in one of our videos, please leave a comment below if you would like to request something you would like to see and be mentioned.